there is always going to be challenges and problems with your clients. Always. Clients are always going to leave, always going to be unsatisfied. There's going to be some problems and challenges. That's always going to happen. Some clients are going to stay with you for a month, some for 2 months, some maybe for 2 years. But at one point, eventually, you need to know that your client is going to leave you. He's not going to stay there forever till the rest of his life. Now, one of the main things that causes all those problems and challenges is because clients don't get results. Now, what happens if clients don't get results? So there's always a reason why they didn't get the result. Figure out what was that why. What's that why? Is it your fault? Is it their fault? Did you deliver your part of the deal? Most of the time when you're helping people with content, it's gonna be your fault that they didn't get the result. But in some cases, it can be literally their fault if they did not send the content on time, they did not record the content. It's literally their fault because you can't edit the video and you can't post the video if you don't have the video recorded by them. But the mindset I want you to have here is even if it's their fault and you know that it's their fault, I want you to take the responsibility for their fault. Basically, take the responsibility on you because you know that there's 100% there's certain stuff that you could do to increase the chances of them actually delivering their part of the deal. So even though you know it's their fault, take a full responsibility for their fault because that's the only way that you're gonna grow and get better. So when the next client come in, you're gonna set the expectations better, you're gonna hold them accountable better, you're gonna be better, and you're gonna increase the chances of them actually getting the result. Now, what if a client wants to cancel? So when I say cancel, I do not mean if they don't want to continue working with you for the next time period, but if they wanna cancel before the end of the agreement. So if you agree to work together for a month, even though I don't suggest that, I suggest you with combined model that we basically teach here to always make a program and make an offer that's gonna last longer, 3 months, 4 months, maybe even longer, because that's the enough time for them to actually get the results. But let's say it's 1 month commitment and they want to cancel before the end of the commitment period. Basically, what do you do then? So first option is a game plan. So always get them on a call. If they want to cancel before the end of the agreement, always get them on a call and be understandable. Don't just try to take their money and be serious and because they're real people, they're real humans, they go through things, they have real problems, real challenges. Maybe there's something in their life that's really making them want to cancel. Actually be understandable. Now the thing you want to figure out on that call is, do they still have the same goal in their mind? 90% of the time, they're gonna still have the same goal in their mind, the same goal that you started working together towards. But if they say that they changed the goal, you need to go levels deeper to figure out what's actually the problem here, what's actually causing them to want to shift the goal. And then 99% of the time, you're going to figure out that they actually have the same goal in mind. They're just covering it with another excuse. So for example, if the starting goal was to build a profitable personal brand, you're going to ask, so you don't want to build a profitable personal brand anymore? And he's going to say, yeah, I actually want to do it. And then you're going to go into the conversation. But if they say, no, actually my goals changed, I don't want to do it anymore, I want to do this and that, you need to go and ask more questions and dig deeper until you get to the point when they actually say again and confess again, basically, they actually want to do it, they're just covering it with some excuse. And once you figure out that they actually have the still goal in mind, you want to offer a 30-day game plan. So you're going to say, all right, we're going to do this for the next 30 days. And you basically want to map out the entire game plan. This is exactly what we're going to do to get you results. And after 30 days of doing this, you will get the result. Now, what's great about this right here is you're giving yourself another chance to give them the result, to get them to the result you promised. But it all goes from the main point, from the starting point, as I said, that you didn't deliver your part of the promise. That it's your fault that they didn't get the result. It all goes from there, from that starting point. Now, option 2 is to basically use a contract. Now, what you always want to do, and you always want to sign an agreement with them before working together. You always want to do that. Now, to sign an agreement for contract options, you can use, I was using PandaDoc. It's a great software, or you can use S-Signatures. Now they changed name to Sign Now, but You can use any of these two. They're super simple to use, and simply use the contract, use the agreement. Simply say, I understand that you worried financially or whatever it is, but we are on X days, X weeks, X months commitment, and I'm delivering my half of this commitment. Now, if you have delivered your half of the commitment, then you can go to the option 3, which is basically cancel. But you always want to make sure that you have delivered your part of the deal. You have delivered your part of the work, of the job that you agreed on, so that you can always use a contract to basically not allow them to cancel. Now, using a contract like this usually will ruin the relationship a little bit, but if it's a good client, it will not, because he will understand actually that you signed an agreement, that's the agreement, and he needs to respect that agreement that he signed. Now, what if a client wants a refund? I had experience with refunds. It's the worst thing you can do, you can go through. But with the refund, you always want to set expectations so that this is never an option. In your agreement, say it bolded that refund is not an option. Never, ever. There's no refund policy, ever. Just politely tell them that the refund is not possible and you've delivered your half of the job. You always want to make sure that there's a certain thing, certain part of the job that once you deliver it, you can say that you did your part and you cannot refund them because you already did your part. But refund should never be an option. And you set that expectation clearly from the beginning in your agreement. As I said, put it bolded that refund is not an option. Now, all these things, refunds and cancellation and all those things, can be avoided if you actually sign the right clients and if you actually set the expectations correctly from the beginning. Now, they cannot be avoided completely, but the percentage can be lowered down as much as possible. If you actually sign the right clients, if you set expectations correctly from the start, not a lot of people will want to cancel, refund, and stop working with you. That's it. See you in the next module.